This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 11th day of May in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley, thanking you for joining us, and here is what we're tracking tonight. A group of members of the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union joined ousted chairman Trevor Ben today, calling for elections to be held for the credit union's board. Ben was ousted as chairman last week by the Committee of Management in a no-confidence vote. He has described the move as illegal, saying that it is not covered in the bylaws of the credit union. But the committee members have all defended their decision to remove him from the post. A petition has now been launched by members of the credit union calling for an emergency elections in wake of the move by the Committee of Management. While elections are due, the committee has not yet set a date for those elections. Ben, who remains a member of the board of the credit union, although he was removed as chairman, said members of the credit union have the power to call for an emergency meeting and elections.
There is a section in the Act, Regulation 16 of the Chapter 8801, provides for the members to call upon the Committee of Management to hold an urgent meeting to discuss matters of this nature.
Mr. Ben pointed out that there is no doubt that the members of the credit union will be on his side since he won the chairmanship by a landslide last year.
Well, the members I will be guided by the directions of the members. So far, all I'm doing is based on what they've asked me to do. So we will look at what happened in 14 days, and if there's no reaction from the management committee, I will consult with the members and we will make a decision thereafter.
And he has also noted that he has done nothing wrong and the committee's move was not based on what has been done on the job, but on other motives.
I remain committed to the membership of the credit union. I want to assure them that I have done absolutely nothing wrong. My main focus is on ensuring that the credit union move from place to place and that the membership continue to benefit from the services of the credit union. That's my focus.
Rights activist and former government minister under the coalition government, Simona Brooms, who was also part of the protest today, said Mr. Ben's removal was wrong since the board is making a decision for thousands of workers without consulting with those same workers in the public service.
The board is making a decision for thousands of people, all right? And I said, because I contacted in the earlier representing the workers to say, listen, then call an emergency meeting and have the membership dictates your decision going forward. You can't make the decision, 8 and 12 people at a table, and tell thousands of people. That is disrespect to the workers. You call the members and say, listen, we got trouble in the camp. Yes. This man or this woman, we got some problem, and bring your facts. And we want you to instruct us on the way forward.
The Committee of Management members who voted to remove Ben as chairman said they were unhappy with his leadership style, and they have also accused him of running a one-man show at the credit union. Members of the credit union have been high in praise of Ben's leadership and the improvements that they have seen under his chairmanship of the credit union. More news coming up in just a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
With the approval of each new oil production project offshore, more jobs and opportunities are created onshore. And not just for those working in the oil and gas sector, more Guyanese are providing support services in transportation, catering, logistics, accommodation and hospitality, among many others. Oil and gas development is fueling Guyana's transformation.
Guyana. Guyana. Get ready for the biggest Independence Weekend. Genesis Band and Utopia Launch 2022.
7 exciting events.
Starting with Touchdown Cool Effect with Patrice Roberts.
On Wednesday, May 25th,
Stinging Nettles.
El Dorado Rum Inclusive.
With Soca Sensation Kes the Band.
On Thursday, May 26th,
Moderation with rising dancehall artists Skang, Chenille Meir,
Drew Sullivan, Gully Ras, and Kush.
as well as
Chutney Ray,
featuring Ravi B,
Kenneth Selleck,
Cardi,
Tony Cuts,
Bonita Willie,
and Shakti Strings on Friday, May 27th.
Sticks and Dutty Duvet, as well as Eden.
A gold and white toga party.
On Saturday, May 28th.
And Soca and Wine.
On Sunday, May 29th. Are you ready
Are you ready
to see the hot costumes for Cricket Carnival?
that will be displayed at every event?
Brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment
King Leo Promotion.
and the Cricket Carnival Committee.
Follow our social media pages at Genesis Band for more details.
Yo, Atlantic is a big bad city vice pushing out the GT. Don't forget the 29th of May we got in Bliss launch. Yeah, Atlanta we say city vice mushy live. You know, so we're gonna do some covers like bye 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 bye. Must get a ting ting ting. Must get a ting. How we out at GT. All of the girls them a wine and shake. The Guyanese woman them a number one. Yo, flashback we say. Bliss launch 29th of May. Atlanta city vice mushy live. Keep my name out your mouth.
Mobile One is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobile One adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of mobile lubricants.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Mansour Nadir, has urged parliamentarians to work together for the benefit of the citizens who they represent. In an address to the opening of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association seminar on Tuesday, the Speaker said parliamentarians on both sides of the House should have stronger cordial relations in order to advance the causes of the people that they represent. He said there should be no room for bickering among members of Parliament.
Dialogue with words is better than violent physical confrontation. There are no winners in wars, I say, so let us continue to dialogue and find a way forward to improve the lives that we represent.
Speaker Nadir acknowledged that challenges will arise, but he noted that the challenges can be addressed if members come together and find solutions together. Earlier during the opening ceremony, Opposition Member of Parliament Vincent Henry took a swipe at the Speaker, where he noted that the opposition motions were often overlooked by the same Speaker. He also accused Speaker Nadir of being easy on government parliamentarians, while opposition members of Parliament are penalised, some with suspension, when they breach parliamentary standing orders. But according to the Speaker, he has always been guided by fairness in the execution of his duties, and parliamentarians, he noted, have been guaranteed their right to speak.
Yes, there are going to be contentious issues, and that is why we are here, to draw on the experiences from all over the world. And while I've never seen a definition of democracy as meaning consensus, I've seen a definition of democracy meaning I will protect your right to speak, even if I don't agree with your views.
The speaker has also acknowledged that Guyana's parliament is made up of predominantly young people who can advance the cause for Guyanese and find common ground on major issues. He's been repeatedly accused by the opposition of being biased in favor of the government. The opposition has pointed to many of his rulings in the National Assembly to support their claim. Well, after several weeks of the number of active COVID-19 cases being below 100 and new cases being in single digits, a total of 56 new cases of the virus were detected in the past 24 hours, pushing the number of active cases to 203. In its latest COVID-19 report, the Ministry of Health reported that 42 of the 56 new cases were detected in Region 4. Although the number of new cases has been climbing over the past 2 days, only 4 persons are hospitalized with the virus, with the remaining 199 told to isolate themselves at home since their symptoms were not serious. Health officials are now encouraging citizens to continue to wear face masks while out in public and to practice the other measures that would safeguard them against the virus.
So one of the things that I want to urge people is to start taking precautions. I think over the last couple of weeks, people have discarded a lot of the public health measures that we have been telling them to use, especially wearing masks when you're in an indoor environment and around people. So a lot of persons have been ignoring that particular measure, and if we continue to do so, there are chances that you can get infected.
The Ministry of Health is also encouraging citizens to get fully vaccinated. Since Guyana eased the COVID-19 restrictions and lifted the curfew measures, there has been a big decline in the number of persons seeking vaccination against COVID. Many citizens who got their first dose have not returned for their second dose, and the Ministry of Health is reminding them that by not being fully vaccinated, they remain at high risk of contracting the virus. The Ministry of Finance has announced that the government has made its first withdrawal of $200 million from the Natural Resource Fund. According to the ministry, the money, which is equivalent to 41.7 billion Guyana dollars, has been transferred from the Natural Resource Fund to the Consolidated Fund to finance national development priorities. It was indicated that the transfer was made in accordance with what the government calls the strengthened legal architecture of the NRF Act 2021 and follows the publication in the official gazette of all petroleum revenues paid into the Natural Resource Fund during the period the 1st of January to the 31st of March this year. As part of the budget 2022 process, parliamentary approval was granted for a total of $607.6 million to be transferred during the fiscal year 2022 to fund the budget. Specific projects have not been listed that will be funded through money from the oil resource. The Natural Resource Fund Board was recently appointed by the President, with retired Major General Joe Singh serving as its chairman. The Natural Resource Fund Board is tasked with overlooking the spending of the money from the oil fund. A prison escapee who was on the run for over a year was recaptured yesterday morning after he turned up at the hospital in Mahdia seeking medical help with a knife stuck in his neck. The prisoner, 27-year-old Samuel Gavaya, is a manslaughter convict who was serving an 18-year jail sentence when he managed to escape from the Mazaruni prison last year. He has reportedly been hiding out in the Region 8 area. According to a police report, at around 4:30 on Tuesday morning, Gavaya showed up at the Mahdia District Hospital and was recognized. Police and prison officials were contacted and he was positively identified as the prison escapee. He reported to the police that he was stabbed in the neck by another man during an argument over money in the same Region 8 area late on Monday night. Gavaya remains hospitalized and is now under police guard. Less than a week after being convicted for attempting to extort $10 million from her ex-boyfriend, a 20-year-old East Bank Demerara woman is facing a charge of escaping from lawful custody. The woman, Princess Williams, appeared in court today before Magistrate Cheryl Isaacs and pleaded not guilty to the charge of escaping from lawful custody. She is accused of escaping from the police on the 7th of May, while she was in custody awaiting sentencing on the extortion conviction. Williams was remanded to jail until her next court appearance on the 1st of June, when that matter will come up again. The police prosecutor said the woman was in custody at the Penitence police lockups when she complained of feeling unwell and was taken to the Georgetown Hospital. While at the hospital on the police guard, it is alleged that she escaped after requesting to use the washroom. She was arrested outside the hospital's compound, walking along Thomas Street with her hands still in handcuffs but covered with a piece of cloth. Last year, she was charged after her ex-boyfriend filed a complaint that she wanted him to pay her $10 million to avoid her from claiming that he had raped her. The court found her guilty of extortion and has delayed her sentencing until June. A 22-year-old Bartica man was today charged and remanded to jail over the murder of a minor from the same Bartica community. The accused, Kelorn Creighton, was not required to enter a plea to the indictable murder charge. The incident took place on the 8th of May at 3rd Avenue in Bartica. According to investigators, a 24-year-old minor, Alston Sion, was with a group of friends at a bar when the accused approached the group and started to issue threats against a friend of the minor. The minor, Alston Sion, reportedly approached the accused in an effort to get him to move from the area. In response, investigators said the accused pulled out a knife from his waist and started to stab at the minor, leaving him dead at the scene. A police report was made and the young Bartica resident, Kelorn Creighton, was arrested and charged. He has been remanded to jail and is expected back in court in the new month.
Yo, Atlanta is a big bad city vice pushing out the GT. Don't forget the 29th of May we got Bliss launch. Yeah, Atlanta we say city vice mushy live, you know, so we're gonna do some covers like bye. Must get a thing, must get a thing. How we out a GT. All of the guys them a wine and shake them. Guyanese woman them a number one. Yo, flashback we say Bliss launch 29th of May. Atlanta city vice mushy live. Keep my name out your mouth.
Have you heard the news?
The CPL is back.
Yes! The finals coming to Guyana.
Absolutely brilliant. It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
See you there.
Tell it to your enemy and tell it to your friend. Watch Guyanese girl, them a hurtle, and them a do it in a circle. Watch me, missing each and every year. Flashback come again. Tell it to your enemy and tell it to your friend. Well, if you're ready for the party, yeah then. Flashback, tell them a the trend. Follow me sing. This are not talking about a fly nor no bees. No girl can whine like Guyanese. Watch the young them a do it in a circle. Guyanese girls them a dance in a circle. Hear me and say, no, I'm a banter. You know, I sound boy killer represent the Golden Smile family. You know, say flashback to a school party. You know, say, oh, the vibes is plenty. Slow down.
We've got exciting news! All 12 ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, $100. Come get your Buster, $100.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
A Across the region tonight, we begin in Trinidad and Tobago, where 38% of the murders committed on the Twin Island Republic for the year have so far been linked to gang-related activities. This is according to Superintendent Rishi Singh of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Homicide Bureau. The Trinidad Express reported that Singh, who gave an analysis of the country's 192 murders during a Ministry of National Security press conference on Monday, said that drug-related activities accounted for 17%, while 13% were attributed to robberies. They also observed that domestic violence cases and deaths added up to 15%. He said some of the homicides have occurred in non-intimate contact settings in neighborhoods where you find neighborly types of killings. He also said that not too long ago there was a situation where someone was using a weed whacker in their yard and the neighbor found disfavor with that, resulting in death. The official noted that every single homicide in Trinidad is a very serious thing, and that all of the resources are going into solving the murders. At least 44 inmates were killed in Ecuador's latest deadly prison riot, the public prosecutor has announced. A fight broke out between rival gangs Los Lobos and R7 at the prison in Santo Domingo, about 50 miles west of the capital of Quito. Ecuador is battling a wave of gang violence and has recently seen its most deadly prison riots in history. Parts of Ecuador are under a state of emergency because of the rising crime that has shocked the country. A total of 108 inmates escaped from the prison during the riot and remain missing, the local police chief has announced. An additional 112 prisoners made it out before being recaptured. Scores were injured in the riot, but the exact number is still unclear. And finally tonight, international news. Security forces are deployed across Sri Lanka with orders to shoot looters on sight amid continuing protests at the government's handling of a devastating economic crisis. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has vowed to restore order in his first national speech since protests began last month. Ignoring calls to resign, he offered to cede some powers to Parliament and name a prime minister, but set no timetable. His brother quit as prime minister on Monday amid fury over soaring prices and shortages across Sri Lanka. Sri Lankans are desperate as basic items like food and fuel run out or become unaffordable. Despite the nationwide curfew, there have been 2 consecutive nights of arson attacks by mobs. Many have targeted property belonging to the president's family and other politicians who are blamed for the crisis in the country. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.